everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite, or Mike. I'm Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, and with Taz. And today on Dynamite, or Mike, we just want to talk about what happened yesterday on NXT. Michael Cole says Taylor Aragon is misgalled in a boundary, and she could yield in any time on Braun Strowman. And as we saw Seth Rollins, when he knew that by getting the match thrown out would make it where he couldn't fight for the TWF heavyweight winnings anymore, that looks more of an oversight on him, doesn't it, Michael Cole? Doesn't it? You got that right, Michael. It seems that Seth Rollins didn't take the oversight earnest enough, or was a oversight or a mistake by his leadership, Paulie Dangerously, his overseer, who believed that the throw out would not make it where he wouldn't be fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings anymore. But sadly, that's what happened. You know, I'm going to tell you right now, Michael and Tony, there has to be a grounds to the madness. Seth Rollins has Paulie Dangerously, his overseer, to help him out with business dealings. He has he's got King Caesar with him, who need or need not be a steadholder for Bronson Reed, which doll we do not have right now. But I'll tell you one thing, Taz says, I want to know who Taylor Aragon is going to yield in on. You know, because at the end of the day, she could be the next threat to the TWF heavyweight fighter, Braun Strowman. But hopefully Braun Strowman is wise enough to know that yielding in on her maybe she'll be wise enough to know yielding in on Braun Strowman might be her mistake, her oversight. Well, you could be right about that, Taz. Taylor Aragon could make a mistake by going after Braun Strowman, but she is galled in a boundary winner, and she could yield in any time for a whole year and a half. Whoever the TWF heavyweight fighter need be by that time. Alright, Taylor Aragon goes, all you folks know that I came from a show called Stargate Atlantis, or Stargate Atlantis Land, or whatever the English word would be for that. What you don't know is that I won galled in a boundary, and that gave me the right for at least a year and a half to yield in on whoever the TWF heavyweight fighter would be at that time. As of right now, it's Braun Strowman. So I've been dealing with Seth Rollins, who, in his wisdom, ends up losing to Braun Strowman. Then he had 2 matches with me, and yesterday on NXT, the biggest mistake he pulls is having King Caesar, the Bronson Reed wannabe, smash me. But that's alright, because now he blew his luck of fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings. So, hey, was that worry worth it, Seth Rollins? And first off, Braun Strowman, I just want to say that I have a lot of on-look for you, for what you've done, being a 2-time TWF heavyweight fighter. But I do think that me and you are going to fight, and when it happens, it's not going to be good. But you have my on-look. We will have a fair match. Let me tell you something, Taylor. I did watch Stargate Atlantis when they ran from 2004 YL to 2008 YL, so I know who you are. And I know you came from Game Again, and I knew you had your gun, your little fighting sticks, and they gave you half of the Stargate and whatever shit you came with. And I know that you won the gallon of boundary, which gives you the right, to fight me, for the TWF heavyweight winnings. However, it isn't going to be so smooth to take this away from me. I know a lot of folks like to bring up all my first two runs in WWE from 27, 26 between FYL to 2021 Y, well, and then my two diff run 2022 out 25 well, and they say, Braun, you only won the tag team winnings 2 times, once with Seth Rollins and once with Nicholas Clone, who, due to being a kid, you had to yield the strap-ups the next day. Then they say, Braun, you only won the World Heavyweight winnings, the 26 between the flyout offshoot, because Roman Reigns was ill and had to take some time off. Roman Reigns had to take some time off due to COVID and his furlong illness and a bunch of other things. Then it'd say, oh, you won the W Inter Body winnings once, held it for some time, and somehow lost it. Yeah, I know the folks say that shit about me, but at least I won some straps in my first run in WWE. I would have run something in my 2-whiff run there, but you never know. First off, Braun, any one of those straps you won, you won. No one can take that away from you. Being a 2-time World Tag Team Fighter with Seth Rollins and Nicholas Clone, no one can take that away from you. Being a former World Heavyweight Fighter, the 26 between a while offshoot, or being a WWE Inter Body Fighter, no one can take any of that away from you. But I'm here to tell you it is going to be a fight. And I'm going to tell you, I will yield in on you. Yeah. When are you going to yield in on me? Well, I got to pick the right time. I got to pick the right, time, the right time, and the right stead to do it. But I'll let you know when I'm going to do it. Well, Taylor Arrogant telling Braun Strowman she will yield on him, but telling him she'll pick the right time and the right stead to do it, Michael Cole says. So what else is Braun Strowman going to do out here today? And I heard that Seth Rollins has a big man watching his back these days. That King Caesar, that Bronson Reed wannabe. I want to have a match with you. So why don't you come down here? We can have that match. And I can slam you all around the ring. Ladies and lords, my name is Paul E. Dangerously. And I am the overseer for not only Seth Rollins, but also King Caesar. And you, Braun Strowman, do not want the bind that King Caesar will bring. King Caesar has chosen by Seth Rollins because he harmed Seth Rollins more than you ever did to Seth Rollins. More than Roman Reigns ever beat up Seth Rollins. Or more than Brock Lesnar ever did to him. Do you truly want to go after this man? Yeah, I do, Paulie Dangerously. I already beat Seth Rollins. I already beat you. And I'm going to beat King Caesar as well. Well, here comes the fight lord coming to the ring now. So I guess we're going to have the match now, Deaning. Well, Paulie Dangerously, who, is the overseer for not only Seth Rollins, but also for King Caesar, who came back and did what he did yesterday on NXT. And now King Caesar wants to do a stretch of strength. And Braun Strowman just picked him up and body slammed him. So not going so far, Michael Cole says, for the Bronson Reed dead holder. Oh! King Caesar's foot just got tail got caught in the rope, and it just knocked down the Fight Lord, which by mistake, which took down Braun Strowman. And wait, he's doing it now. Well, that's going to be it, Tony Schiavone says. We're lucky the ring didn't break after all that. Yeah, if it did, Taz said, we'd be shocked because we don't have any more rings to go to. We don't got no more, Toy Biz or Jax or Mattel rings to go back on, so very lucky it's on them break. 1, 2, and a kick out. Braun Strowman kicked out. And that just means that King Caesar, who's only been in 2 Godzilla films, is going to have to go for the top steeple again, Michael Cole says. Well, Tony Schiavone said this time, Braun Strowman got Caesar and slammed him. With the Strowman slam, Tony Schiavone said. Yes, Michael Cole says we saw that happen. Braun Strowman picks up King Caesar from the top steeple and slams him in the ring. No, Taz says, you can't yield, King Caesar. You gotta be unbeatable like Bronson Reed. No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner, Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman has beat King Caesar here today on Dynamite or Mike. And it means that Braun Strowman, my mistake, they're both 2 Brauns. Michael Cole says that means that sooner or later, Taylor and Braun Strowman are going to meet, for the TWF heavyweight and world heavyweight winnings. Michael Cole says, yes, when Taylor Bradican, or however you say her kin name, yields in the gal in the boundary, Tony Schiavone says, then we will see Taylor and Braun Strowman for the TWF heavyweight winnings. However, Taz says that's if Braun Strowman is still the TWF heavyweight fighter come the time that Taylor Aragon ever yields in her gal in the boundary, Taz says. And speaking of that right now, we take it away now, Michael Cole says to Renee Young. Thank you, thank you, Michael Cole. Shit. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah, thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Taylor here today with the main overseer of the TWF, Ric Flair, because he does have something to say, about all of this. About all of this, Renee Young says. Well, first off, Renee, you're right. I do got something to say about it. Taylor Aragon has one gal in the boundary. So yes, it does give her the right to fight Braun Strowman 1 year from now. However, Seth Rollins has been bitching that he should have one more match for Braun Strowman. Even though I did tell him yesterday on NXT that if he did got the match thrown out, which he did when King Caesar came in the ring, then he would have the match thrown out, and the match was thrown out. And so Seth Rollins has no one to guilt, only himself. Or maybe he could guilt his overseer, Paulie Dangerously, for giving him a bad thought. However, we do got to name someone else to fight Braun Strowman besides Taylor. Because yes, Taylor can yield at any time, 1 year, a whole year and a half from now. But we need someone for Braun Strowman to fight now. So I will come up with names of wrestlers or fighters or overstars, whatever you want to call them, who will face Braun Strowman for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Thank you, main overseer Ric Flair. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Renee Young, for talking with the main overseer of the TWF, Ric Flair. And it is all the time we got here for Dynamite or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone, with Taz. We hope you like Dynamite or Mike, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.